we're like,
Sir, you better be making my sandwiches. I paid $2.50 for that. Ma'am, we're getting raided. And hey, it's hard to get good customer service in 2020. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Ukradowski here of WeAreChange.org. And holy cow, does it seem like the world is just going into utter chaos, as of course things in our society are getting crazier and crazier by the day, not just domestically here in the United States, but specifically almost everywhere around the world. What's going on here? What's the latest news? What do you need to understand? Well, we're going to be doing our best to explain that here in this broadcast. The clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was originally highlighted by the libs of TikTok, which show us a video from a Wawa in Philadelphia that literally was just ransacked by a bunch of people saying, hey, we're just going to take everything from this store. And they did. And there's one lady still demanding her sandwich be made right now. And this kind of criminality, this kind of behavior is not rare, not just in the United States, especially in heavily democratic areas where the district attorneys theirs are woke and financed by a corrupted billionaire that we can't even mention by name here on this broadcast. But this also happens in places like New Zealand and other liberal bastions that of course have been normalizing crime, criminality, while of course doing everything in their power to punish people as much as they can for, quote, political wrongthink. And if you look at our society, by the data, by the stats, it is becoming more violent in certain areas. Those areas that we mentioned before. It's becoming more unlivable and more desperate as, of course, the economy tumbles, and along with it, the human spirit that, of course, is being robbed of any prosperity. This, as today we're finding about a new drug hitting the streets that is meant for horses and is creating a horrible flesh-eating injury for some of the people who consume it, as this new trank dope hitting the streets now is now accounting for a third of overdose deaths in Philadelphia, the wonderful city where we got this lovely introduction video from. This says, of course, drug overdose deaths in the United States have been spiking dramatically, and with artificial increased scarcity, with the financial decline, with people becoming more and more desperate by the day, those numbers are, of course, expected to go up, as, of course, deaths of despair are only going to be going up. A tragic situation only made that much more tragic, as, of course, central controllers and politicians are limiting the amount of energy people could have, which not only limits the average person's access to wealth, but also food, which is also becoming more and more expensive by the day. This, as one of the largest wholesale fresh food producer markets in the world, was just set on fire in Paris. What was the cause of this? What really happened here? We don't know yet. But we do know for a sure fact that there has been a concerted effort to try to transition people from healthy, nutritious food to, of course, eating the bugs filled with lectins. This, as already in Australia, 1,000 schools there are feeding their children insects as part of their diets. Yes, you heard that correctly. 1,000 Australian schools are already feeding kids chips made out of crickets. This is the World Economic Forum that has proposed this plan, just literally wrote an article bragging about how billions who obeyed the lockdowns and mask mandates will, of course, now comply with their latest new mandate, with their latest scheme and scam on the population of the world, which, of course, will be pushing climate lockdowns and a carbon social credit score that, of course, they engineered in a way which directly benefits them. This, as their previous scheme is unraveling, as, of course, even the Pfizer CEO is coming out just moments ago and detailing how he just got sick for a second time within 6 weeks from a sickness that he has promised 100% in protection from his products that clearly didn't work here. This, as just recently a Manhattan Supreme Court judge just issued that city workers, specifically police officers fired due to vaccine mandates, will now have to be reinstated, get their jobs back, and most likely will now have a lawsuit against the city, which of course will enrich them from the horrible discriminatory policies that they had to go through, that of course were promoted and of course cheered on by the World Economic Forum that called for them and wrote the blueprints for them. And this is why not all hope is lost, as of course the official agenda is being unraveled right in front of our eyes. People are starting to think, they're starting to realize the rain is coming down, as you could hear it and see it behind me, and it will wash away the seediness and nastiness in our society. And one of the best ways to celebrate this is of course to wear it on your body, just like the shirt that I'm wearing right now that says, one of the best things about being a conspiracy theorist is that you don't end up with myocarditis. A shirt that you can exclusively get on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, which we're updating as a website. We just released a brand new t-shirt a couple moments ago that I think is definitely worth picking up and getting yourself. This is an amazing design that our incredible people working here at We Are Change have put together for you to, of course, wear in the streets and to allow other like-minded individuals to, of course, see that there's a mass awakening of individuals, of blue-collar, hard-working, honest people that are saying enough is enough. This is a great way to find local friends in your community, to find like-minded individuals, to find prepper buddies and friends, and definitely check out the website, thebestpoliticalshirts.com, as of course it is being upgraded, and there is a plethora of shirts that we can't even show you here on this broadcast. Lots of them, all on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, that also not only help you do your form of activism, but support this independent media organization. When YouTube fully demonetized us a few years ago, we started a shirt company, and now predominantly we're more of a t-shirt seller than a YouTuber, all because of this opportunity that was forced on us by big tech social media. A problem comes in your life, try to find it as a wake-up call, and essentially it will become a blessing, which this essentially has. I'm really proud of our shirts, I'm really proud of our company, and I'm really proud of what we're able to do, and in large part that's mainly because of you. So yeah, check out thebestpoliticalshirts.com. Now, in the making of this video, we are seeing some very troubling videos coming from the international world, specifically this video coming out of the United Kingdom, showing what looks like could be a possible mobilization of UN forces there. This, as now many people are saying that the current European war could only expand, and with photos and videos like this coming out, it sure does look like it's only a matter of time until a bigger conflict erupts inside of Europe. This, as the Defense Secretary of the United Kingdom just announced that they will be increasing the spending on their armed forces by at least 52 billion pounds in direct response to what they call Russian aggression. This, as in Russia and many of its other surrounding territories and countries like Dagestan, is being met with, of course, massive amounts of protest against the mobilization that is happening there to, of course, provide more troops for this larger conflict unfolding in Ukraine. This, as of course, mass mobilizations and drafts are not very popular policies. Another thing that we're hearing online is that allegedly the president of China, Xi Jinping, is under house arrest, as allegedly China is going through a military coup. Is that true? Well, again, it hasn't been corroborated. I haven't seen any evidence of it, just a lot of people talking about it online. It was one of the top trends on Twitter, and so far this latest news is not really news, just a rumor, and obviously if it's true, it would have very grave implications for what's happening geopolitically and globally right now, so we're going to be keeping a close eye on this story. But with how unstable China is, it wouldn't surprise me if there is some kind of larger challenge of authority to the current president there. That is also currently seeking a lifetime appointment to being president of China. All of this as in Europe. It looks like there also will be a major transition of power in places like Italy and other countries that are choosing to vote in right-wingers, while of course they have a history of predominantly voting for leftist figures. There's also a lot of tensions right now in Paris, mainly because of Iran. Yes, you heard that correctly. This as, of course, there were major protests inside of France and the United Kingdom today, where, of course, people protested outside of the Iranian embassy. Protests got violent, and, of course, there were many people arrested as scuffles broke out through the streets of Paris and London. All of this because of the latest events unfolding in Iran right now, where an alleged torture and murder of a young woman there who was not wearing her hijab has sparked protests. The Iranian state is coming back and answering, saying that these rumors are not true and saying that this woman died of a heart attack. Who do you believe is your choice? But this event of this young woman in police custody has created massive amounts of protests. What's the truth to what happened here? Well, of course, many people will choose what they want to believe in based on their own political opinions and perspectives, but it's also important to note here that many Western governments and corporate media outlets are promoting and pushing this larger protest in Iran because it largely works towards the larger agenda and narrative that they have, which is pushing a country that is not aligned with its geopolitical focuses to be met with the support of politicians that previously froze people's bank accounts and threw people in jail because they dared protest them, just like Justin Trudeau, who expressed his strong, unwavering support for the, quote, peaceful protest in Iran, calling for the Iranian regime to end its repression of freedom of expression. This is the same man that literally took people's ability away to have a bank account because they dared to criticize him and his policies. This is the man that sent religious pastors to jail for daring to hold church services against his wishes. This is a man that essentially set up martial law in Canada because a couple people decided to honk their trucks. So yeah, excuse me if I'm a little bit critical here of the utter hypocrites that only support something when it works in their own personal benefit or the benefit of the special ruling class. And whether it's protests in Iran or Canada, people should always have the right to express their concerns and voices against the government and never be met by oppression. And sadly, that is becoming more and more common on the world. And as resources dwindle, hunger becomes the norm, poverty becomes common, and the ability to live a normal life is extinguished, you could bet your bottom dollar there definitely is going to be a lot more chaos, especially with all the artificial scarcity coming our way. You limit energy, you limit everything away from the general public, and that's exactly what the ruling class is doing. Expect some major troubles ahead of us. I hope you guys are prepared, and this is why we make these videos. If you found what I said was important and you think someone should understand it and you think they should heed these warnings, send this video to them just by simply double clicking it and sending it, copy paste. Very easy. It's one of the few ways that these videos actually get out there right now. And if it wasn't for you guys doing that, I wouldn't be here. If you thought anything I did or said was wrong, let me know why down in the comment section below. I try to have an open mind. I try to see as many perspectives and as many points of view as I possibly can. We're living in a very complex world of disinformation, of propaganda. I hope I was able to break through the matrix, and let me know how I did. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.